Hey, this is Max, student of PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and today's Tuesday, February 15th, and I figured I'd do not quite a chart lesson, but something a little different because there wasn't a chart lesson today, and I'm assuming that is an error in the uploading to YouTube, and Max should get that fixed in the morning. So it'd be a little redundant to just do a chart lesson only for him to upload one in the morning. So I figured we'd draw a live chart together, and hopefully some people see some value in that. So let's get started. We got a nice blank chart here. All right, so obviously February 15th is right here, and if you notice, we got the first two swings right here. 1, 2 legs up, then a correction, and your second swing right there. So go ahead and draw a trend line there, and see if it holds. What a lot of people tend to do is see the chart instead of read the chart, and they'll draw something like that instead, which is valid, but then that could screw you up into some fake out, spike in channels and things like that, kind of like that, and it can just trip you up, especially if you don't understand acceptance and rejection really well. So let's see, 5 a.m. would be the appropriate time to trade for West Coast Pacific Standard Time traders. And so at that point, we would be right around this area here. And if you notice, you do have a little correction trend right there, but you have a new high, first entry, pull back, second entry long right there at where you would assume would be the key entry point. And it is a little congestive, but because it's a second entry with a strong signal bar, I would mark that blue. And you got to roll the dice. Easy scalp. I think it was easy 2 points as well if you're scalping for 2 points in this volatility. And it's a good trade. So then after that, what I would do is mark my short-term trend line here. Way too early to start looking for failures and reversals. We're looking for a retest of the high point, which would be around here. Let's just mark that. We get a first entry short, a second entry short right here, way below the EMA, but we have strong support there. And we made a low, tested it once, tested it a second time. The bias is still up because of what I said earlier. We're looking for a new high. So that's an aggressive trade you might want to take. This is the first short-term trend line, and then notice you get 2 legs back to the EMA. So you get another trend line here, which would be your second swing. And so what we're looking for is, now that this is a larger trend, to play out. We make this double bottom here, and so what you want to do at that point is see if that support lines up, which it does, with this support over here. And so now we want to see if we're going to respect support area number 1. Let's just draw something weird. So there's a support area, and there's a support area. Let's see if it holds. We got a close outside, and now we're going to get a retest attempt for this short-term trend line down. Notice how we can't quite get there. So that's providing confidence that this is going to be a support, as we still want to go to make a new high based on this blue channel. So the bias is still up. And so there's your first touch. That would be considered your second. Here's a double test here. not a strong signal bar, and we're looking for 2 touches down, or we're still looking for a new low, and notice we make it there, but that's not a great signal bar. But then when we touch it again with a strong signal bar here, that's a great entry. And even this is a little early into the overnight, so you might consider this is the first touch, second, semi-second, and this is your double test. And it pushes down lower, closes on its high. Excellent trade there. Notice also we have this new low. It's lower than that one. And then we get a first entry short. We shoot through the EMA, and we get a second entry short that fails right at the EMA, reverses and closes on its high. You can go long there with a market order, or you can let it trigger higher and put a limit order. Either way is fine. And then you'd want to draw your trend line like so, and look for longs. And so if this is the support down here, our first idea of where the resistance is going to be is the highest point, right up there. But we want to get off nice on the closes, so we'll have it there for now. And if prices get there, we will keep it there. But let's say prices don't quite get there. We got 1 touch, 2 touches there. But for now, highest point with the most touches is right there. Close outside, new high, and then we got a first entry, pull back, second entry. Now, this isn't exactly a key entry point. You do have some support there, but it's a second entry long. The bias is up to retest the blue channel. It's a second entry. It's a little congested, so for that reason, I would mark it green. Let's go ahead and extend this right. And we can't quite get to the highs, so we draw our down channel. Got 1, 2 legs down, 2 legs up. That looks right. Get a close outside and a new low, but it's not quite to the support. We get a higher low, but it's right into the EMA. So you're just patient. At this point, you know the support is strong. You know the bias is up to retest the high. And so you're looking to buy on higher lows or strong entries here at the support. And so that we go and we touch that support again, and then we make a higher low with a fairly bullish signal bar. Doesn't quite close on its high, but it's a higher low. It's a strong bullish bar. There's room to the EMA. The context is that we're in an uptrend. That's a good trade. We come down and we have a failed second. Oh, never mind. Got a failed second entry short here. So once again, kind of a repeat pattern over here. You got the new low, first entry short, push through the EMA, make a higher low, reverse close on its high. That's a great reversal in the right context of going long. We do have kind of a leg or two back, and it doesn't quite touch the trend line, but you could argue for that to be a green trade. And then, like I said, we're looking for trades down here, not in the middle. And you notice it's getting a little choppy here. So what do we want to do? We want to find a confirmed trend line and trade it at the key entry points. So we get 2 legs up, 2 legs back. Once again, this low is lower than that low. We get a first entry short, pull back, second entry short again. That fails, touches the EMA and reverses and rejects. That's a nice trend. Or sorry, that's a nice entry. And it's also a second entry. Notice this new high, pull back first entry, pull back second entry. And then we get a little breakout pullback here, not the strong signal bar. Nothing too great. We get a close outside, and we're hoping prices are going to go up and touch over here. So you just got to be patient and wait for it. When prices don't quite get there and you start seeing some resistance, you might drag your resistance line right there. Since we get the close outside and a double top, you could argue for this one to be green. You make that high, you test it once, and then you test it twice here. That's another really good trade. It breaks higher, reverses, and closes on its low. And then notice you get first entry short and a lower high off of that area, and then a failed second entry long right there. So this is looking like strong resistance now with the double top, the triple test with a strong bullish bar, strong bearish bar, a lower high is what you want to see, and then a failed second entry long. Great trades. I'd probably argue that this one could be green because it is an inside bar, but it's still a pretty nice trade. Don't quite make the high. And so this is what we're looking at now. It's a range, and the bias is slightly up, but the support's very strong, and if the resistance is really strong, trade it. We got a short-term trend line up here, and we do touch the resistance again, but it's not a second entry, and you have this uptrend, so I'd wait. You get a close outside, 2 legs down, and then again we touch the resistance. So this is holding pretty well, and if you notice, this is kind of like a second entry. It's a hidden second entry. Notice this new low, pull back first entry, pull back second entry. More likely than not, you're going down to the lower side. And then so I draw my trend line down like this off of the first 2 swings. You get a failed second entry long here, but it's way too far away from the EMA. You get 2 legs up, but you don't get a second entry. You do get a failed second entry long here, but as you can see, there's a little bit of support there, and it's not at the key entry point. It's not all the way back down here, so I think you just got to pass on that. And then, if you notice, we get a failed breakout. And that's aggressive, but as you know, a lot of these failed breakouts often are very rewarding, and you know, on this one, I don't think you got a runner, which is unfortunate, but that's still a decent aggressive trade. Failed breakout. It's always better to wait on a higher low, and you get that right here at the support. Strong signal bar, far away from the EMA. It's going to act like a magnet. Take that trade, then draw your trend line. So we got the new low here. That's your first entry short. You shoot through the EMA, and then you get a second entry short. That again, I mean, today was just an amazing trading day. You get a reversal pattern on the opposite side of the EMA. The bias is up. You got a trend line here. That's a fantastic trade. And I think there was 3 of those. That's 1 reversal. That's 2. That's 3. So 4. So there's just a ton of awesome reversals, easy reversals today. So hope a lot of people had success. We do get back to the trend line here, but there's no setup. It's congested. You could argue that that's green, but that's pushing it. We want to take safe blue trades, get a close outside. We're in no man's land. Again, we're looking to get short off of the resistance or long off of the support. Getting caught in all this noise is is not that efficient. As soon as I say that, you got a new low here, a first entry, you push up, and then you get a second entry that reverses on its on its high. We haven't had a retest of this channel yet. Go long right there. That's a great trade. We get 2 legs back, second entry here, but it's not a key entry point. We're not getting rejection off the EMA, so I think you got to pass on this one, even though it works. Not a fan of this trade right here. We're pushing, trying to make our way up to the highs. So let's draw a short-term trend line here. Get a close outside, new high, a lower high. Not the greatest signal bar, but then you get a failed second entry long into the strong resistance. It's a great trade. And also, if you notice, here's your high. You tested it once, and then you come and you test it again. There. That's another great trade. Look for a trend line and see if you can get a second entry off of the shorts now. Two legs down, 2 legs of correction. Here's a new low, first entry, second entry, but your signal bar is no good. We don't quite get to the support. And then we have a first entry, second entry here, but it's an inside bar. You have this correction trend. I don't think you can go short into that. It's not the safest trade. Get a close outside a new high. Oh, and this is past the 1230 cutoff, so it doesn't even matter. But yeah, that's how I do it. Fantastic trading day. I showed you how to find this blue channel. I showed you how to have an idea that this would be the trading range. Let's just color that. And once you have those two things set, trade off of the support and sell off of the resistance if it's strong enough and you have nice setup. Pretty straightforward day. So hopefully people like that or enjoyed that. I'm a little rusty, haven't done a chart lesson in a while, so hopefully it wasn't too unbearable. Alright, well that's all I got to say. This is Max, student of PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and I'll see you next time.